Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Visionary Magazine. This is your host, Majid. I hope you're all doing well. Today, we're coming to you with a special interview. Today, we'll be interviewing Najwa Cherif. Najwa Cherif is the CEO of NCM Talents, which is a boutique talent agency based here in Dubai that is working with talents worldwide. They're signed to some of the biggest social media stars, such as Model Rose, Faiza, and much more. So we tend to interview a lot of artists on here, a lot of artists and a lot of creatives, but today we'll be kind of getting an insight into the management side of things and how these talents and how these artists are being managed. So without further ado, let's get Najwa on here and start this interview. Hello.
Oh, yes.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, great. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. I'm good. So just to start this off, for those who don't know you, can you kind of give a little brief introduction about yourself and what you do?
Absolutely. So I am a talent manager and agent. So what I do is I manage public figures and celebrities. I manage their business affairs. I manage their careers. I also go one step further. I play the agent side. So I go out and I pitch to brands. I literally hustle for my clients.
Okay.
That's exactly what I do.
I like that. That's nice. So
Yeah.
just the first question would be like, and I just thought about it, which is like, what was your first job?
Like in terms of like in this industry, because
Like ever? Like how did you start ever? What was the first job ever?
Oh my God, I was 14 years old was when I had my first job. And I grew up in the States, so I was a receptionist for Great Clips. It was like a hair cutting place, and I actually got fired 2 days later.
Oh wow. Okay.
I did.
Well, it's their loss. Based on how it turned out today, it's their loss, right?
Absolutely.
Definitely. So what was like your background before you started NCM Talent?
So actually, it's so funny because I studied sociology and communication. So essentially in university, I majored in nonverbal communications. So what that entails is profiling, basically. And my mom was not supportive of that, obviously, because I would be working with criminals.
Right.
But I took those skills and it did help me a lot with my life. I was able to read people. I was able to pick up on nonverbal cues. And the way I kind of got thrown into this talent agent management position was, it always starts with a guy, huh? So I was involved with someone. And I really believed in him and his talent. And I remember thinking like, why aren't you in movies? And he was telling me like, well, how do you get into movies? And I was thinking like, how hard can it be? So with my Hotmail account, I actually pretended to be a manager. And I ended up getting him into major movies, like blockbusters.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's how it kind of started. And as I went along, I actually obviously took courses online. And I found that, you know what, this is actually something I'm really good at. I'm good at negotiating. I'm good at pitching. And I found that when I believe in something and believe in someone, that actually like projects out there. And that's when you start closing deals. So that's how NCM started.
Wow, that's very interesting. That's interesting. And how did that lead to you founding NCM Talent? And what made you want to start it?
Yeah. So what ended up happening in like a gap of time is I consulted for a lot of companies. So I consulted for agencies. I built such an amazing network on my own. And through consulting, I actually found there's a huge gap in the market. Being brought up in the United States and the Middle East, it's very different in terms of the way business is done. And I found that management here, talent management, isn't a concept. It's really just brokers. So it's agencies that brands come to saying, hey, we want an online campaign. And that agency kind of searches, sees an influencer, and they connect them. So seeing that, I thought, no, I think management from A to Z is something that the Middle East needs, and it's something that these talents need, because a lot of times these talents accept jobs that's not good for their career, that doesn't align well with their brand. They end up regretting it. And down the line, they end up losing out on deals and like ambassadorships because they've taken past deals that they shouldn't have. So that's why I started NCM Talent.
Okay, great. And on here we interview a lot of artists and a lot of talents, but we never really interviewed someone who's more on the management side. So just to kind of inform the people, how does a talent agency work?
So the way it works, I operate a bit differently than a lot of the agencies here. So what I do is I prospect and I recruit. There's three things that I do look for. I look for a niche, and I look for what that talent has to offer. And I also look at what we both can benefit from, because at the end of the day, I'm not going to be a good agent for everybody. And that's something that I learned to accept. So that's how an agency works. And once you sit down with a talent and you figure out what their long-term goal is, you can strategize and then you can execute.
Okay. And basically, the revenue comes from having a percentage of all the work that you bring to the talent, right? Okay.
Correct.
So that's interesting. And since we're talking about recruiting, what are some key factors, or traits you look for in a talent when you recruit them?
Oh gosh, ambition, dedication, consistency. They need to be hungry, because I can't do the work for them. I just can't. I can believe in someone until I'm blue in the face, but if they don't believe in themselves, there's absolutely nothing I can do for them. And at the end of the day, if I guide them and I see an end goal for them and they start kind of steering off that path, it's either we're on the same page or we're not. And then that's usually when we part ways, if we're not on the same page.
Okay. And when it comes to their brand image and the audience that they have, which audiences and brand do you gravitate more towards, and which ones do you stay away from when it comes to the talent themselves?
Yeah. Oh, geez. Being in Dubai, nowadays everyone's an influencer, right? I mean, that's sad truth. So what I like to do is I also align myself with talents that I want to be associated with. So I do look at their following, I do look at their content, and I do look at what they want to achieve. So the audience or the talent that I like to align myself with is more international, ones that have a message, ones that are making a difference, and their audience, because that's something I believe in. And I'm not knocking anyone's hard work. Not at all, but just like how I have, everyone has a brand image, I also, as a company and as a woman, have a brand image too, and I do need to align myself with people that align good with me.
Right. Okay, and since a lot of the people watching are talents, they either model or they make music or they're into some creative venture, how does one go about getting a talent? So kind of give us the do's and don'ts.
Like for the artist to how to get an agency,
for a talent, how to go about and go get an agent or sign with an agency.
Yeah. So the first thing they need to do is research. They need to research the company, and they need to research the agents in the company. They need to ask about reputation. They need to ask about the relationships that agency has, one, with brands, with casting directors, with other agencies. They need to, this is so important, and I can't stress this enough, honesty and integrity is probably the number one thing that I've personally seen with agents and agencies. I know in the UAE, in this part of the region, their commission is way greater than the United States or Europe. So that is something that they have to put into consideration. So do your research, ask, and the best thing is word of mouth. See who's out there working for you, hustling, and make sure that you're not signing up with an agency that has similar talents as you, because there's a conflict of interest.
Okay. I never thought about that you don't want to sign with the agency that has the same talents as you. Okay.
Yeah, because then you're competing with each other, and that's That's not fair.
True, true. Yeah, makes sense. And since you talked about the state of the talent industry here in Dubai and how it was more just like a brokerage, since you founded NCM, how has it evolved? How has it changed?
Um, Look, I think from being in this industry probably for the past 8 years, what I've seen is a lot of PR people and agencies and agents piggybacking off of their clients' fame. I feel like this region is so hungry to be famous.
Mm,
And as an agent or a manager, I think that's the number one rule of a no-no. Like you don't
okay.
piggyback off of your client's fame. So I'm trying to change that. I really, really am. And I do think that the concept of management is starting to be more accepted by the talents here. They are starting to understand that having a manager is very valuable because they do manage your day-to-day affairs. I mean, in terms of like my clients, I manage their schedule from A to Z. I negotiate all their contracts. I schedule in all their meetings. If they can't attend a meeting, I hop in. I'm there at every shoot, at every casting. I am there with them, guiding them. And that builds a bond and that builds a lot of trust. And I would like to see that more in Dubai.
Okay, definitely. And being that NCM is an agency that you work with talents worldwide. Like you have talents here in Dubai, and then you have talents in the States, such as Faiza and Model Rose. So
Yeah.
how are you able to manage different talents that are in different corners of the world?
Let me tell you, I don't get a day off.
Yeah, I'm sure you don't. Yeah.
Not one day off.
Wow.
But this was tough. This was really tough for me because of the time difference. There's about 9 to 10 hours difference between here and the States and Canada. So what I did is actually after 5 p.m. Dubai time, I dedicate that time to my clients in the States and in Canada. I do sleep early, so I'm up early. And then in the AM, I do dedicate between 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. to my international clients. And then I start my day with my like regional clients here. And then obviously Friday, even though it's a day off here, international clients. Saturday is pretty slow, so but Sunday's a working day for me here. So that's how I've managed my time. Lots of emails, lots of Zoom calls, let me tell you.
Sure, yeah. Like you said, you hustle. That's the answer, I guess, the short answer. Yeah.
I'm telling you, I wake up to over 200 messages on WhatsApp. It's
Wow.
crazy.
And
Yeah.
do you kind of have like representatives or employees that are in these other countries helping you, or do you manage everything from like online?
Yeah, I manage everything from online. Before COVID, I was looking to expand. I was looking for an office space, and unfortunately, Corona hit. But it was actually the best thing to happen because expanding too quickly gets overwhelming. And it actually made me take a step back to really, really focus on the clients that I did have and recruit clients and talents that I really, really wanted to work with instead of just grabbing everyone under my umbrella.
Okay, okay. And since we're talking about COVID-19, how did COVID-19 impact your industry and how you coping with it?
Oh, I think our industry got hit the most, right? I mean, it's marketing. That's the first thing
Right.
that gets cut for budget. But I did see a lot of online campaigns. And I think what's happened is because everybody was so hungry for work that a lot of the online campaigns were able to take advantage of that, meaning influencers were taking on jobs for minimal payment. And that's fine. So, but I do see the market picking up now. The budgets have increased. And obviously online marketing has become a major thing. So I think global now, global headquarters like of different brands are starting to see the importance of purchase power in the Middle East and specifically Egypt.
Okay. Okay, that's interesting. And one question I just thought about that I'm curious about, what was like obviously you care about all your talents and everyone that works with you, but what was like the one person that you signed that kind of made you feel like I made it, that kind of feeling. You know what I mean?
Honestly, it was Faiza. And the reason why is because Faiza, I had been following her since 2013. So I had been following her before her like big fame on Instagram.
Okay.
So it's someone that I actually look to whenever like I had a personal problem. And the fact that I got to work with her and I am working with her, I just felt like over the moon.
That's amazing. She's hilarious. She's amazing.
She is. She's hilarious. Let me tell you, that girl, even on the phone, the voice notes, she's exactly like she is in her videos.
That's nice. That's nice. So now I want to talk a little bit about you just to end this off. So where do you see yourself in the next 10 years?
Retired in the Maldives.
Okay, that's nice. That's nice.
Before that, I would love to open up offices in the States, one office in the States and one office in Europe. I do see myself in 10 years expanding and becoming one of the leading agencies in the Middle East.
Do you see yourself getting into other industries, or is this just your thing and you just plan to stay in this industry and that way?
I think, no, I don't think I would get into another industry. I think this is my thing. I excel at it. I'm good at it. And, you know, I will stay in my lane, but what I will do is I could possibly expand and have different departments. So a PR department, a marketing department, but it would all under be one group. But I mean, I'm not a marketing major or anything like that, but I do see it expanding into a major company.
Makes sense. And for the last question that we have to ask everyone that comes on here, which is from the beginning of your journey up until this moment, what are the 3 most important things you've learned?
Don't take anything personal, because you get rejected in this industry left and right. So I learned not to take it personal. I learned to shut off my phone and take a day off.
Wow.
That's very important. Yeah. And I learned that probably the most valuable skill is reading people, reading those nonverbal cues, because you can maneuver and negotiate a little bit better. Those are the 3 most valuable things that I have learned on my journey.
Okay, that was great. Thank you so much for coming on here.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you. We'll stay in touch. Okay, everybody, that was Najwa Cherif from NCM Talents. The link to their website and Instagram page will be below the video, so make sure you check it out if you'd like to learn more about the work they do. Make sure to follow Visionary Magazine on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Links will be all under the video. Subscribe to our newsletter, and stay tuned. We have a lot more stuff like this coming out. Take care till I see you next. Peace.